Are you tired of feeling tired? Are you struggling with vitality? Or does your body just not feel great? Join today's hosts Monique Bradley and registered naturopath Lynette Hill to talk about your health. It's Health Bites, bite-sized pieces of health and wellness information so you can own your health. Well, tēnā koutou, kia ora koutou katoa, ko Monique Bradley taku ingoa, nau mai haere mai ki te YourFixTV studios for Health Bites. Yes, it's Māori Language Week here in New Zealand. I'm Monique Bradley. I'm the co-host of Health Bites, and I'm here on the couch with the very beautiful and very knowledgeable clinical director of My Remedy in Milford, and a registered naturopath. This is Lynette Hill. How are you doing?
I'm good, thanks Monique. Hi everybody.
Excellent. Now we've got a big show ahead of us tonight, because not only are we talking about the effects of stress and fatigue in our lives and the effects of living in a hyper-driven society, but we also have two amazing and very informative and knowledgeable guests in the studio tonight to help you when it comes to balancing your life, to finding good nutrition options, to leading an optimal life, and also about harnessing the power of the mind with hypnotherapy. But Lynette, let's start the show talking about hyper-driven society. What a big topic tonight. Tell me about your thoughts on how we're living a life governed by stress and fatigue. What's going on?
Well, I think it starts really early, and I was talking to you before,
Yes.
right from pregnancy, there used to be an expectation when you were pregnant that really once you started showing, I'm talking a long time ago, you went home, you sat down, you got everything ready. Now the expectation is you work right up till your scheduled birth. We generally know when it's going to be, and we're expected to work really hard, and we expect ourselves to work really hard, even though our bodies are going through a lot of changes. So are we setting the scene right then for being a little bit adrenal, a little bit worked up? And it's just going on and on from there.
See, that's a really interesting question. I know you mentioned that there aren't studies necessarily that show the effects of that adrenal state from the mother affecting the child in utero, but when a child's born, are we seeing a difference in behaviour for children? Are there more pressures on children in society to achieve more, to be more? What are you seeing in clinic?
We see a lot of that. So we see a lot of children with anxiety and separation disorders, because a lot of children, I think, don't want to be at preschool, but they need to be. We don't know what the financial situation is, and also parents are really encouraged through free daycare and free care to get your children into that social situation. And some children just love it, and some are just maybe not ready for it, and that can cause a little bit of stress. So, there's a lot more clubs and things to do, and we're all looking for that little thing in our child that says, oh, that's what makes them special, because they need to find that, because it's a really competitive world out there.
That's so true. So, I know a lot of my friends, shout out to all of my friends who are parents. I love you guys, you're amazing. I know how stressful that can be. Children that you're seeing that I'm reading about in social media, and they're off school because they've got a tummy ache. Is that in the mind? Is that them just wanting a day off? Or can that be the effects of stress and fatigue as well?
Well, I'd say yes and no. It's definitely in the mind if they're thinking it. If they're really nervous about going to school, they may be struggling to keep up. They might be being bullied. They might just rather be at home with mum. They might have... like we were talking in the earlier shows, gluten intolerance, it actually hurts their stomach.
Like me.
Yeah. So all of that is hurting their tummy, and we talked about the brain and the gut. So if you are really anxious, you will often feel that in the stomach. So when a child is saying, I've got a sore tummy, they're usually telling the truth. It's not something that they would make up. And it's about hearing it and working out what's the cause of that. Is there something else going on? Okay,
so are you seeing more children presenting at your clinic with the effects of stress and fatigue?
I personally don't see as many in my clinical rooms, but our homeopath Kate, she sees a lot of children.
Wow.
Because homeopathy works so nicely with children. It's so harmless.
So gentle.
Yeah, very gentle and very effective. And she's seeing a lot of anxiety and sleep issues and bedwetting, and children that are constantly sick, and children that are struggling in the system, and yeah, more and more.
Okay, so tonight's not just about children, by the way. You parents, you have to endure a lot. I know there's a lot of you who are parenting, running a household, you're working full time, or you're running your own business and you're an entrepreneur. I'd love to know from you, are you okay? Are you really challenged by stress at the moment in your life? How is that impacting your health? How is that impacting your relationships? Now, this show is about you guys. It is a question and answer show. It's totally interactive. We are live now. You're live.
Ow, ow.
Yep, she's live. And it is absolutely about being part of this conversation. Hello, Abby Leaf, who just said, hey guys, Abby, lovely to have you watching the show as always. I can see there, who's this over here? Andy Crawford is also on the stream.
Hi, Andy.
Now, I know, Andy, you've had some challenges with your health over the last little while. I wonder, if you're free to share your story, we'd love to hear if stress has been a factor in that. In fact, anybody out there watching, perhaps you've been in a career that's been really challenging. I've suffered the effects of stress in my career over the years, which has affected my health. We'd love to hear directly from you, because that's what these shows are about. So moving into the teens. What are you seeing with teens or your graduates, your students moving into higher education? Are you seeing any changes in behaviour over the last 8 years of your clinic?
Absolutely. I think it's always been there, and teenagers often don't want to tell anybody about it, so we just notice that they're in their room, they're really moody, they might be starting to get sick more often and not getting to school, struggling to get things done. And I think the thing with teenagers is to get them talking, which is almost the opposite of what any teenager wants to do.
Yes.
So we're seeing a lot of teenagers with anxiety, we're seeing chronic fatigue after illness, kids that actually can't get out of bed, teenagers that are struggling and getting sick the week before exams. Now that's your body's great way of saying, I've had it.
Yeah.
I'm not coping. Children that are sick too often, always got a cold, always got a bug, and students that are really struggling with their sleep, or struggling with relationships because they're just burnt out. Burnout is a really big thing.
Burnout is a big one, and in fact, I did see Patsy Paxton actually wrote in here, hyper-driven society that says it all. I know, right? So when you pitched this topic to me, I thought, yes, we need to be open and honest about this. And also Andy Crawford said, would you say the DNA can change from conception if the mother is stressed to have the structure for anxiety and dis-ease develop in that child's future? Oh. Wow! Oh my goodness, Andy. That's a biggie.
Absolutely, and they can actually track changes to the telomeres, and which are a part of the structure of the DNA. And there's the whole nature-nurture question, where people are actually looking at physical and physiological changes, and they're looking at things like DNA, and it's totally measurable. And people say, is it nature or is it nurture? And I say, why can't it be both?
Yes.
We're born with a certain ability and genetics and family traits, but the things that happen to us along the way and how well we're able to deal with them can make those develop and become more chronic.
So true. It's so sad to hear stories of this happening though, and it's impacting the child's life, it's impacting the mother's life, it's impacting the family, the community, it's affecting the school. We're seeing behavioural changes all over the place, children who might be misdiagnosed and slightly off the spectrum or on the spectrum, and we don't know what's going on. There's so many stresses on life right now, aside from just being human and having to live with the likes of social media and all these other stresses.
We're living in a goldfish bowl where everybody's looking at us, and that's fine if you're out there and confident, but if you are really that little child or that person that wants to sit at home and just get your energy together and just be quiet, and you're meant to come out and perform, you've got to do speeches, and there is a little bit of a what clubs are you in, and how much sport are you doing, and what's your child doing, and what's your child doing, and is that enough? That's a lot of pressure, and I think it is definitely something that we might need to have a bit of a look at as a society.
Now Andy's just replied, she just said current illness, combination of certain stresses as well as damp mould issue in the home. That's what she's battling with at the moment. I'm investigating how to get a report done, as I should not be getting ill based on the supplements and healthy living I abide by, but thanks for answering my question. Andy, thanks for being part of the show. Thanks for your communication. We love hearing from you, and thank you for sharing. In fact, if you are watching and you've got somebody in your life who is really affected by stress, whether they're a tiny tot or whether they are, you know, your grandmother, your grandfather, share this video, because we all need to be part of this conversation. Now, speaking of videos, I know, Lynette, you've been talking for the last few weeks about this concept of a health ladder, and you've actually gone and had a video put together to explain what the health ladder is all about. So we're going to share that with you right now and then come back and talk with you about fatigue and chronic fatigue. So take a look right now.
The Health Bites Health Ladder. Usually the goal of being on a ladder is to be at the top, but our ladder is different. It's much more comfortable, safe, and easier to remain with your feet planted safely on the ground. So we need to make sure everything at ground level is optimal. That's why, with a holistic model, getting your diet and lifestyle choices right are our foundation. Feet on the ground, being well through diet and lifestyle. Here are the basics: real food, proper nutrition, a healthy weight, good clean water, nutritional supplementation, condensed nutrients, if needed, particularly for children, teenagers, athletes, elderly, exercise, fun and friendship, great sleep, well-managed stress. You might need some initial help to achieve this level of health, but once you're there, it's worth it, and it's easier to stay healthy than live with disease. First step of the ladder, self-help. You might be starting to notice symptoms such as bloating, headaches, skin changes, signs of stress, sleep, energy, or hormonal changes. You may start researching your options, online as well as in store. You might visit your health store for some condensed nutrients, vitamins, probiotics, or superfoods. It might be time for some relaxing massage or Reiki therapy to help with relaxation and stress reduction. Second step, noticing changes in symptoms. It's time to ask for help from someone who knows how to help get you back on track. You could visit a life or health coach. A clinical hypnotherapist may help with sleep or harmful habits. Maybe your stress is coming from your work or finances. Career coach, financial advisor. So, what if you've given it a go? You've been to the store, the internet, you've tried some basics, vitamins, dietary changes, etc., but there's not enough change. Your symptoms remain. This means they're chronic. Third step, living with symptoms. It's time for therapeutic support. Time to see the health experts who are trained to make therapeutic changes to help you make positive changes, and those who can refer you for specific medical care should it be needed. Maybe a naturopath to guide and support a return to better health. A physical therapist like a chiropractor or osteopath to help with pain or better function. A counselor to give you tools in your kit to deal with your stress in a healthy and positive way. The list goes on. Light bulb moment. Maybe this is a good place to start. Registered naturopath or medical herbalist. Registered homeopath, chiropractor or osteopath. Ayurvedic or Chinese medicine practitioner. Nutritionist, counselor or psychotherapist. By working with an expert at this level, there is every opportunity that you can return to optimal health and wellness with your feet planted firmly on the ground, safe and healthy. Fourth step, diagnose disease. Follow the advice of your healthcare professional and wellness support team. Up here is where you don't want to be, at the top, feeling very wobbly and clinging on tightly. It's the toughest place to be on the ladder. You need medical intervention, medical specialist, emergency medical treatment. If you are here, you already have a medical diagnosis that may require medication or even surgery. You need to follow all medical advice now. We want you through natural medicine to avoid getting to this stage, support you while you're there, and support you to feel better despite your condition. So if you want to stay planted on the ground in good health or make your way down the ladder, why not consider seeing a natural medicine practitioner?
Lynette, great job of that video. Well done. I think that it really explains the health ladder. I've really got a really good handle on it Got my feet on the ground.
Good.
And my hands on the ladder, which is great. Now, I just noticed a couple of comments came in. Abby Leaf said, yes, I'm a huge sufferer of stress. And unfortunately, this seems to be an all too common problem. One of the questions I really want to know, though, I know that we have a lot of demands in our lives, you know, through parenting, through, you know, our profession, through life choices, our lifestyle, through, you know, having to deal with people. You know, even going into a shop can be stressful these days. But when does that fatigue and that stress turn into chronic fatigue? Does it do that? Or are chronic fatigue and stress completely different things?
They are actually different. If you look at the medical definition of chronic fatigue, it's an unexplained chronic fatigue that's lasted for 6 months or more. That's a little bit hard to map back to say, hey, I'm doing my exams and, you know, I've been in a bad relationship and there's problems. Usually there is a virus involved in it, so someone's got very sick and they've stayed sick and haven't recovered. Whereas fatigue can be, I just don't get enough sleep, or I'm doing too much. And adrenal fatigue, which we were talking about last week, is I have just burnt myself out. I've used adrenaline to get myself out of bed, and I've carried on using adrenaline, and then it pumps all night, so I get no sleep, and then I'm starting to get tired. So that's more of your burnt out hyper-adrenal stress.
And sadly, that seems to be something that people are talking. Well, it's great that people are talking about it, but I'm seeing it more and more in social media.
That's the main thing that we're dealing with in clinic. Yes, we get our chronic fatigue, and that is really serious and needs some help. And there's a lot through diet and lifestyle that you can do to support that.
I was going to ask, if somebody is well up the ladder, as we've just seen in that video, if they're all the way up the ladder and they're holding on for dear life and that ladder is unstable, what should somebody be doing in that situation?
Well, that's when I say come and talk to someone like a naturopath, or the guest that we've got on tonight. We've got a hypnotherapist who can help us change our mind, literally. You know, a counsellor. See your doctor if you're really struggling and you don't know where to start. Reach out to people and say, you know, you used to be like this, or you're dealing with this. You know, who did you see? Get some recommendations. But certainly there are actually lots of tools in the natural medicine kit that can help people with chronic fatigue and adrenal fatigue, and just to start managing their life a little bit better.
Amazing. Now, a couple of comments. Andy Crawford just said, I've just had remote Reiki, which is great. We love that from the video. And Patsy Paxton just said, I have found self-Reiki really good for dealing with insomnia. And insomnia can be a contributor to fatigue as well, of course, right?
Absolutely. If you're not resting, then you are exhausted when you get up, and you almost have to come from that anxious adrenaline burst in the morning. Yeah.
So true. So I guess from that video, what my takeaways are, don't necessarily Google it, because you'll be up half the night Googling it, you won't get any sleep, you'll end up more of a wreck. And I guess if your nutrition, you know, if your nutrition isn't great, look at those condensed nutrients to help you get back down the ladder. And as always, you know, do consider seeking a professional. Now, we do have a disclaimer that we have to share with you during the show. We are not here to diagnose disease at all. We're just here to be a friend and to help you through a really challenging time in your life. This is, however, a live Q&A, so you are welcome to ask our professionals, but I just need to let you know that you will not receive a diagnosis throughout the duration of this show. Do, in fact, seek the assistance of a healthcare professional if you are concerned about your health and wellness. Now, if you do need some support in that direction, we do have, of course, the experts in healthcare at My Remedy, and we've got a video, in fact, telling you how you can perhaps find an easier way to find an optimal life. Let's take a look at the video right now. Have you ever considered that symptoms are often the outward sign of something deeper and can just be the body's way of saying, help me? The great news is that even small changes from the inside out can affect your whole health outcome. So, are you ready to make positive changes? The team at My Remedy work with you to find solutions for optimal health and can help you with many health challenges. Their team of qualified and registered naturopaths are there to help with any health condition: gut health, skin conditions, adrenal fatigue and immune health, cardiovascular and men's health, and nutritional health. At My Remedy, they also have a registered homeopath and hypnotherapist who are there to help with the deepest challenges to your health, your beliefs, your fears, your habits and behaviours. So if you're ready to create better health for you and your family, try a different approach. Visit myremedy.co.nz or give them a call on 09486 2175. My Remedy. It's your remedy. Well, if you have just joined the live stream, Monique Bradley Takawingawa, it's Māori Language Week. No mai haere mai, welcome to the YourFixTV studios. We are here tonight in Health Bites talking about the effects of stress and fatigue in our lives. Sadly, it's an all too common problem that I'm seeing crop up more and more in social media. And I am now in the kitchen with the very lovely registered naturopath and also nutrition expert. This is Amy Lynn. How are you going?
I'm good, thanks.
Excellent. Fabulous, fabulous. Feeling optimal tonight, which is always great. Now, Amy, you know, you've opened raw food cafes here in Auckland. You have worked at wellness retreats talking about the effects of nutrition in people's lives. How does nutrition affect our energy, our vitality, and our quality of life?
Oh, well.
It's a big question, right?
It is, it's so big, but you know, it comes down to you are what you eat. You know, it goes back to that. It goes back to that. So if you're ingesting McDonald's every single day, you're not going to feel the best. So there's a lot of healthy food out there that we can take in that gives us energy, gives us protein, gives us nutrients, antioxidants, adaptogens,
all the good gins.
Yeah.
So I have a question for you. A lot of my friends in social media, they have a lot of children who are doing a lot of activity, and I know the opening part of our show really focused on the fact that we're seeing more children who are stressed, not just adults who are stressed, say in the workplace. Sally Chapman, I just saw your comment, by the way. Thank you. We'll talk about that in the next segment. So thanks for sharing. We're seeing more kids, hyper-driven society. You know, should kids be adding more carbs into their diet so they've got more energy to be able to achieve everything they need to do?
Well, that's the quick fix, isn't it? But it's actually not the right one, because what happens with the simple sugars is that you go high, you're good for a bit, but then you crash, and then you have these side effects afterwards, like fatigue, and which could eventually lead
done it
to
myself,
chronic fatigue. Yeah. So, well, carbs have their place. It's not the go-to say-all for nutrition.
Interesting. So I was talking to my mum on the phone the other day, and I said to her, look, I've gone into a low-carb lifestyle because I've just found out that I'm in fact carb intolerant. So I'm not great with carbohydrates, so it's good. It's changed my gut, which has been the focus of our first part of this whole series. But how do you get the balance of carbs and the right carbs, and you know, what's the answer? Is there a definitive answer? Is there a one size fits all?
Well, there are good carbs and there's not so good carbs. So you can get carbs from fruit and veggies, you know, from lots of different kinds of healthy foods like this, like nuts and seeds, and that have carbs in as well. But if you're eating bread and pasta all the time, that's going to be just heavy and gluggy, and we'll have, you know, sometimes when you have that kind of food, you just want to take a nap.
Yes,
afterwards.
Happened to me, and I get brain fog.
Yeah, exactly.
And then I feel like a failure, and that affects my stress and my fatigue.
I know, and it just continues on because you can't get motivated to do what you want to do because you're constantly fighting that simple sugars that we're taking in from especially white bread and pasta and stuff like that. Yeah.
Okay, so if you are watching the stream, I'd love to know, does what you eat affect your mood? Does it affect your stress levels? Are you noticing, so if you're at work and you're having a high carb lunch, do you then want to have a sleep? Tell us in the news feed what your thoughts are, because we would love to find out the answers for you. Great to see you. Oh, Andy Crawford just said, haha, Dr. Google. So yeah, I know, right? We don't ask Dr. Google anymore. We ask professionals. So Amy, you've got a recipe tonight you're going to share that is what, good for energy?
Yep.
Good for the brain?
Yes.
We like that. What else is this?
All my questions? Yeah.
Oh yeah, cool. Yeah. So what else is this good for?
Well, there's omegas. I've put together something that's good for teenage kids mainly, but it's good for all ages. Brain boosting, omega-3s and 6s and proteins and antioxidants, magnesium, iron, everything I've got here.
Excellent.
Yeah, adaptogens as well, which is good for the whole system.
Cool. Okay, so let's do it.
Yeah, so it's going to just be a quick, easy bliss ball.
Oh, yeah.
And
love bliss balls.
Yeah, so here I've got some walnuts, which are high in omegas and antioxidants and protein.
Now, I noticed you're not using a blender for this, by the way.
No, you can just do it by hand. So these nuts have actually been soaked and activated, and then...
What do you mean?
So you soak your nuts.
You soak your nuts.
You soak your
we
nuts,
like that.
which is very good to do.
I did hear Dr. Oz talking about soaking your nuts, but I didn't really understand why.
Yeah, well, okay, so it activates them. So they lie dormant, and they've got enzymes in them that are quite hard to digest.
Oh.
And when you soak them, it releases the phytic acid, which allows that enzyme to open up, which is better on our digestive system.
Great.
Yeah. And then I've dried them in a dehydrator.
Oh, wow. So I've seen a lot of bliss balls. I'm a fan of bliss balls. I've eaten a heap of them because they're tasty as. Is it better to make your own or buy them?
Oh, definitely make your own because you know exactly what's going in it.
Great.
Yeah, so you can be in charge of all of that, and you don't know half the time what's on the market there.
That's so true. So
I've got some walnuts in there. I've got pre-ground flax seeds. I've just ground them just before.
Flaxseed. Now, I've never really, I'm a foodie, but I haven't done a lot with flaxseed. What is flaxseed loaded with?
Again, it's fiber, it's omega-3s and 6s, and it's...
good stuff.
Yeah. It's mucilage as well, so it's like nice and soothing on the gut.
Excellent. Now, omegas you would normally get from deep sea fish, is that right?
Yes.
So this is a good vegan, vegetarian option?
Exactly.
Perfect.
Yes, and it's also brain boosting, antioxidant,
we
anti-inflammatory.
Like so good.
Yeah, so I've also got tahini here. I'm going to use this as the binder, and tahini is amazing. It's full of B vitamins, magnesium, selenium.
Tahini is made from
sesame seeds.
Sesame seeds, great.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, by the way, if you want this recipe, we'll actually take Amy's recipe and load it onto the My Remedy website for you as a blog. So do stick around. And in fact, if you're not in the Health Bites official group. We've started a group online. If you're not in the group, I'll post the link after this video so you can join us, and recipes are going into there as well because these are so good and we want to share them. And in fact, if you've got a great recipe, share it in the group too.
And they're very easy to make. You can make them, roll them into balls, and put them in the freezer and just take them out
when you need
put them in lunch.
A brain boost.
Yeah. So here I've got maca powder and cacao, which is also another antioxidant. Maca is a good hormone balancing.
Oh, wow.
And adaptogen root. It's a root from South America.
Yes.
I can get into that more later. And I've also got hemp. So this is a really good protein. It's also good in omegas, brain boosting.
Wow.
Yep, antioxidants.
I've never seen that before.
Essential fatty acids. It's just amazing.
That's exciting.
So we've got a lot of protein going on in there, and it's all
plant protein
exactly.
as well.
Yeah. And I will put a touch of maple syrup in there as well, which also has iron and good minerals in here.
And it tastes exceptional.
So I'll just put a little bit in there because it's nicer when it has a little bit of sweet. And I've got some coconut oil here as well, which we can add in, and coconut. And you can put anything in this, like ginger, turmeric, which are good for the circulatory system.
Wow.
You can put vitamin C in here, just even a dash of liquid vitamin C.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you can put whatever you want in here, but I focus mainly on the omegas, essential fatty acids.
So if you're keeping them in the fridge, could you add in, like, you know how we've done some stuff with you before and we're using a probiotic?
Yep.
Could you then put your probiotic in there as well?
You could actually ferment this. It depends on your,
Wow.
you could put a probiotic in here and leave it on the bench and just let it ferment. It will eat the sugars in here. It will taste completely different, but if you're used to that, if you like that fermented flavor, which I do, then you just grow to used to it. So I'm just making a small amount here, but you can make a huge amount, like I said, and put them in the freezer.
That's so good. Now, question from Andy Crawford. She said, where do you get the hemp protein from?
I got this one at Huckleberry Farms. So any health food shop, really. It is actually hard to find, but it is starting to come into New Zealand now and be accepted. So easy,
nice
little ball there. Yeah, just roll it, and you can roll it in cacao, cinnamon, coconut. Yeah.
So you could even do something like if you were making your own raw chocolate.
Yes.
You could put that into your own raw chocolate,
you
right?
Can. And chocolate is so easy to make.
It
3
is so
ingredients
good.
is all you need to make raw chocolate. So
that's it. Can I try it?
Yeah.
Okay, here we go.
Definitely.
Because, you know, the proof is in the tasting, right?
Yeah.
So this is loaded with good stuff for my brain, loaded with protein. I better try it.
I'm actually interested to know what it tastes like. Is that well?
It's really good. I don't know why I'm so surprised. That is so good.
Yeah. That's tahini.
Wow.
You can taste the tahini in there.
You can taste the tahini. You could even put it into a flat tray.
And put it in the fridge to make it hard. And then
And
you
then
can,
drizzle it with raw chocolate as well. So it's like a protein bar.
yeah, you like your raw chocolate, huh?
I do love raw chocolate. Now that I know how to make it, yep.
Yeah, so that's like so quick and easy, and it's so, you just do it. What did that take us? 3 minutes, 4 minutes, and you roll them up, put them in the freezer, and then your kids can have these brain boosters. They're just absolutely full of goodness.
So when you're, getting the 3 o'clock chocolate crave, because it's sweet but not too sweet, which is lovely.
I mean, you can adjust it to accordingly. Best with less sweet, so you get.
So you don't get that spike of energy.
Yeah.
So when you're getting the 3 o'clock brain feed, it's this is what you need, right?
Yeah, exactly. And there's
Not
actually
the brain feed. I mean the brain fog. I'm having an overdose.
This is the brain
of
feed.
Yeah, this is the brain feed. So good. Now I think Lynette, who's sitting down on the couch, has got a question. Go, Lynette.
Could you use almond butter instead
Yep,
of tahini?
absolutely.
That roasty, toasty.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah, you can make your own almond butter too. It's so easy.
Oh, maybe that would be the next show.
Yeah, I could show you so many things. But yeah, you can use any kind of butter. You can mix it up. Put, like I said, vitamin C. You can put orange zest in there. You can do.
Oh, so good.
Yeah, you can do so many things with this. But this is the basic. This is a real good brain booster for teens, especially.
I totally agree. Now, little children obviously can have it too.
Yeah.
Very tasty.
Nothing
Abby
wrong.
Leaf just said, for people on the go, do you think the products, more so the juices and smoothies from Tank, are good with nutrients in it, or are they not as good as we think?
Oh.
Ooh, that's a contentious topic.
You know what? Actually, I think they're not as bad. They're not that bad because it's still something, and there's nothing really wrong with it. I mean, organic is always best because it doesn't have all those pesticides, but there's nothing really wrong with Tank. You're still going in and getting a fresh juice. You're still getting what you would buy in the supermarket. It's the same kind of thing. So
I totally agree.
Yeah.
What I would say about that is that, Abby, it's more cost effective to make your own.
yes,
I'm going to leave that right there.
You get more for your bang for your buck when you make your
Certainly
own.
do. So if you've got a juicer at home, you should be throwing in all your green vegetables and all your lovely your citrus fruits and everything. Make your own smoothie. You will love it. And if you don't have a blender, grab a NutriBullet and start making your own butters and your own bliss balls and do what you can. You will love the results and you can control what you eat.
Yeah.
Amy, that's your message as well, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
You are what you eat.
You are what you eat. I totally agree.
That's what you put into your diet more than what you take away. I mean, eventually when you add more good, then you just don't want the bad. It just works that way.
So I hope that's helped you there, Abby. Thank you so much. Andy Crawford just said, I love Tank. Well, there you go. You can have Tank in your own home. There you go. Look, thank you so much for that, Amy. And again, we'll put that recipe onto the My Remedy website for you so that you can start making that in your own home. And again, join the Facebook group. Just search for it. A Facebook group, Health Bites. Join the group. Share your recipes. I know Amy's going to do it as she's sneakily eating today's recipe. And you'll find more recipes from Amy in that group coming up. Right, it is time to head to our next guest. So we are going to delve a little bit further into the effects of stress and anxiety in our lives. This is your chance to ask the questions, and we're talking about the power of the brain. In the meantime, we do have to say a big shout out to one of our big supporters. It's the people at the South Pacific College of Natural Medicine and the wonderful team at the Power Clinic. What's the Power Clinic, you ask? Let's take a look.
Welcome to Power Clinic. I'm Robin Carruthers, the Clinic Director. The Power Clinic is the student clinic at the South Pacific College of Natural Medicine. We've got two main functions here. One is to give our students a really good educational experience. They're the ones who staff the clinic, and they are supervised by experienced practitioners, naturopaths and medical herbalists. Our other role, which is more important, is to provide the community with affordable natural health care. So we have free visits for under 6-year-old children and for people over 65, and our other adult normal fees are heavily subsidised. We see a whole range of people here at Power Clinic, people who've got just minor health complaints, who want to look at a wellness plan, right through to people who are on a range of medications and have quite serious health conditions. A lot of people think that with natural health care that if you're taking medications you can't go to a naturopath, but in fact we're very careful to take that into account and to work around it and support people while they are taking medications that they need to take. So if this sounds like it might be of interest to you, please give us a call and we'll look forward to seeing you and to helping you on your health journey.
Comments. It's lovely to have you as part of tonight's show here at the YourFixTV studio. If you've just joined us, I'm Monique Bradley. I've got Lynette Hill from My Remedy, the clinic director in fact, and a registered naturopath on the couch, and you've also brought a special guest in with you tonight on the couch. This is Stephanie Schaefer, and she is a clinical hypnotherapist from My Remedy. Kia ora, welcome to the couch, Stephanie.
Hello.
Hi. Now, tonight we are talking about the effects of stress and fatigue in our life, and it has been really apparent that this is a really big topic for so many people. I just had a very beautiful woman by the name of Sally Chapman saying that the effects of workplace bullying have really affected her when it comes to, you know, her stress levels. And I really want to talk around all those contributing factors around stress tonight, and how perhaps we can utilize the power of our mind to overcome these self-limiting blocks and really lead an optimal life again. And that's really your area of expertise, would you say?
That's correct.
Excellent.
Yep.
So Stephanie, first of all, what is hypnotherapy all about? Will you make people cluck like a chicken? Because that's the first question, you know, people ask me.
Well, if they want me to, I can give it a go. But it's not the overall idea. So hypnotherapy is not used for entertainment. It's actually used for therapeutic purposes. So where people find it quite hard to make changes in their life, that's when they reach out for hypnotherapy to help them. And one of the reasons is that our willpower is only 10% of our conscious mind, what makes the changes. So 10% wanting to stop smoking, wanting to stop eating, wanting to slow down, which is hard. But 90% of us is the subconscious mind, and that's where we need to tap in, the subconscious mind. Get that one on board, make the changes is a lot easier than just having the 10% to operate from.
Right, so the subconscious mind is the one that governs our autopilot, right?
Yes.
Is that my understanding?
Yeah, that's
so
correct.
That governs our beliefs, our behaviours, that sort of thing. So how do you get into someone's mind and actually activate that sector of their mind where they're holding these beliefs and behaviours? What's that process?
Well, first of all, the client actually hypnotizes themselves. So the hypnotherapist, we're just guiding them into a really deep relaxation state. And that's a state which we refer to as the alpha state. And that alpha state allows for the subconscious mind to open up. And when we then make suggestions, positive suggestions about what changes they want in their life, the subconscious mind will listen to it and take it on board. And the subconscious mind, even though it's amazing, it can't differentiate between what is imagination and what's reality.
Wow.
So if you keep feeding it, then all of a sudden you change your behavior, and you're going to create a new neural pathway, which is, the one you are coming for in the first place.
Wow. So, lovely Sally, who is suffering at the moment with the stress from this workplace situation. In a situation like that, where somebody has environmental issues and challenges really affecting the way they feel about themselves, can hypnotherapy potentially work for them?
I think it's a good idea to give it a go, and the reason why I think that is to actually focus attention on that problem there. If she wanted to see a hypnotherapist, what we do first is having a good chat to see when did it start, what's happening, and why does that affect them so much. Is there anything in the past which, you know, has made them, you know, feel insecure, or, you know, make them experience that situation so badly. Can we give that person any anchors, any tools to take to work, to then use to make them feel relaxed and let that bounce off? So, you know, again, we can change that sort of effect, bullying at work or other things will have. You change the state and then you change the impact it has.
So regardless of the stresses, so it could be financial situations, it could be weight, so my own journey of weight loss, weight gain, weight loss, weight gain has always been a huge stress in my life, especially because I live a very public life and I work in this sort of media. Regardless of the stresses, can hypnotherapy help you overcome those stresses? Can it help you redirect your life effectively?
Yes, because during during hypnosis, the person is looking for the solution. So the subconscious mind, it's like a library of, you know, if we talk about your subconscious mind, whatever you've experienced in your life, what you know, and your feelings and experiences all stored in the library, Monique, which is the subconscious mind. So you can actually draw solutions out of that. And by connecting to your subconscious mind, so you've got that body-mind connection, you might get messages out there, you might get solutions out there thinking, oh, actually, if I do this like this and this, or if I feel stressed, what else could I do instead of, you know, smoking, or instead of, you know, drinking too much wine, what else could I actually,
too much wine,
you know, rather than the hypnotherapist saying, well, this is what you should be doing, it's more like, what do you think you could do if you know, feel stressful? Could you take yourself away from that situation and, you know, do some breathing techniques, or, you know, jump up and down on a trampoline, or ring a friend, or, you know, what else? So the solutions are worked out really by the person. Because once,
gotcha. So almost like by reprogramming, you're not only giving them tools for coping, but it's about management. Is it what you're kind
finding
of saying?
different solutions as well, not going back to the old pattern. So the behavior, the neuro pathway is there. So if, for example, somebody says, oh, when I'm stressed, oh, I need to have a cigarette, or when I'm stressed, I need to have a wine. There's an established, you know, wine makes me relaxed, or cigarette makes me relaxed. These are sort of things which we've almost self-hypnotized ourselves, and creating that neural pathway. Now, if we go into hypnosis, not just during the session, but the clients will actually get a recording with them after a session to listen to, and by repeating the same thing, telling the subconscious mind in that relaxed feeling, now you're going to be a non-smoker, oh, now you're going to see yourself choosing a healthy lifestyle, you no longer need wine, all of that. You're creating a new neural pathway. The old one, which was I needed a cigarette or a drink, or needed food for comfort, so actually got to break down, flush out, and a new one will overwrite it.
Wow, that's incredible. So you can reset your whole life, can't you?
Yeah, and the impression of, oh, you're losing all control with hypnotherapy is totally the opposite, because it's giving you the tools to actually take control, and when you go into that situation that might have totally turned you on your head, you're suddenly in control. And how empowering is that?
It is, especially empowering. What we do use in hypnotherapy a lot, as well as NLP, neuro-linguistic programming. I was
going to ask you about that.
Which is really helpful, because that's, for example, we set an anchor. You know, we set an anchor during hypnosis. If, for example, I wanted to have confidence to come onto the show tonight, I would have been nervous otherwise. I would have set an anchor, going back to a time when I felt really confident. It might have been back in my childhood when I, you know, won something or achieved something. Go back to that moment and pick up on that feeling and locking it in. And the anchor can be like simply pressing your fingers together while you have that feeling, or just putting a pressure on your hand. And what you do in that situation, you're going to fire your anchor. You want to have that feeling of confidence. So before that show, I fired my anchor saying, what sweet, I'm going to be a confident talker, talking to you right now and feeling great. So this is a tool you can take home with you. And this is a tool whenever you want to have confidence. And also celebrities and those singers, and they all have their anchor, they all have something they do, some routine, some ritual which gets them into that right zone.
Tapping their leg.
Yeah.
I'm going to watch that. I'm
Yeah.
watching for that.
That's amazing. Now, a couple of questions have come in. Miranda Sophie. Hi, Miranda. Lovely to see you on the stream tonight. Said, I believe babies and young children are in alpha most of the time. They're very receptive to what's happening around them, which can start patterns for a lifetime. Is that correct?
I believe that when we're younger, that we do operate from a different level, and I mean, I haven't looked into that particular one there, but just from my own experience, I think that children are a lot in tune, and because you could also, subconscious could also be a gut feeling or intuition, and I think children have that a lot. Children know straight away if they like you, if they don't like you, and they can't explain it, but you know with their body language that there's something going on there.
So true.
And we as adults often shut that down. So, the child may have a really valid expression, and when you're told, no, that's not how we do it in society, you very quickly build layers on top of that. And you can see how quickly the subconscious gets buried in all of the rules and,
because the ego overrides it often.
Wow.
It's like, for example, you go for a job interview and you didn't really like it there, you didn't get the right feeling, but then they tell you how much money you're going to earn, and you're like, no, actually, it wasn't that bad. And then you start, and then maybe after 3 months you think, gosh, what have I done? I should have listened to my gut feeling.
Wow, that's truly amazing. Now, Andy Crawford just said, does hypnotherapy work for most people? I'm talking those open to hypnotherapy, not the naysayers.
Yeah, good question, Andy. I think that if somebody decides to see a hypnotherapist, they're already buying into it. They're already, ready for it. If somebody sends me their husband to stop smoking and he's not really willing to do it, he could have a resistance there, and that means that he might not relax as much as he should relax to be able to open that door to the center, to the subconscious mind, and therefore it might not be as effective as it would be if somebody chooses to go and see a hypnotherapist. Gotcha.
Now, I've just noticed a whole bunch of people on the stream that I've missed. Hello to Heidi Speedman, who's watching. Debbie Curtis, lovely to see you. Now, questions. Wayne Marks, hello to you watching tonight. Now, just some feedback from the last section, which was about food. Heidi Speedman said homegrown juice company is just as good. You can get them at the supermarkets. Thanks for sharing that. And she said the immunity, vital greens and raw energy ones are great. Sally Chapman said, how is clinical hypnotherapy different from psychotherapy?
I haven't done psychotherapy before,
so you can't.
It's an interesting question. Yeah, when you do look at statistics, though, because I've seen the statistics before, is that hypnotherapy is a lot faster in terms of getting you to the results, and that's really comparison whereby it's like something like 6 hours hypnotherapy versus about 3-4 times the amount of psychotherapy. Wow. So that it actually is getting deeper, faster, making those changes. So if I would have the choice, I would try that first. As another teeth. Tried everything else. Try hypnotherapy. So
that's a good acronym.
She just hypnotised us.
Yeah, true. We're all hypnotised. Miranda Sophie said, trusting your gut instinct. It's the same as dogs. Dogs know if they like you or if they don't like you. Yes. So yeah, good point, Miranda. Yeah. Now, finally, when it comes to hypnotherapy, what can you help with?
Anything. I think we all could do with hypnotherapy. I can say that the main conditions or issues I'm dealing with would be weight management is a big one, especially because it puts stress on people if they're overweight.
So much stress.
Not just physically, but also mentally. They become a lot more insecure, or their sort of self-esteem goes a little bit lower. So weight management would be one of the bigger things. Sleep is also an issue. A lot of people are finding it hard to sleep, and hypnotherapy can really help with tools when people have got mind shattered, how to quieten down the mind and how to become a good sleeper again. So you got the sleep, the addiction, so stop smoking. Hypnotherapy is very well known for stop smoking. Sugar, so stop sugar cravings. I'm lucky that I'm a practitioner for the virtual gastric band now in Auckland. That means I've undergone training with the UK leading hypnotherapist Sheila Granger. And so we do the virtual gastric band, which is a really exciting program. It lasts for 4 weeks. And I've got really good results with that one too. But yeah, anything else, people, fear of public speaking, fear and phobias. A lot of people have fear of driving over the harbour bridge, for example.
Spiders. I'm terrified of spiders.
Yeah.
So anything that's holding you back, really.
Yes. Yeah. You're right. Yeah.
And of course, dealing with stress. That's a big one. Coping mechanisms. So if any of that has resonated with you, all you need to do is head to the My Remedy website, myremedy.co.nz, and you can find out about all of the practitioners available. Whether something resonated for you during the conversation with Lynette tonight, perhaps it was something to do with Amy and her expertise in not just naturopathy but in nutrition as well, or if anything resonated from that chat about clinical hypnotherapy and how that it can actually work with your mind to help you find your way to an optimal life. All the information is on that website. But it is time to go. This is supposed to be a 30-minute show, but you know, we love you guys. So do make sure you look for the Facebook group, and it's called Health Bites, because we can continue this discussion and share more ideas about health and wellness and bite-sized morsels on how you can own your life. That's what this show is all about. So it is time for us to head away. Thank you, team, for being on the couch and in the kitchen with us tonight. We do have to thank you to the people who support us. First of all, thank you for watching. You can be part of the show, so you can actually send us your questions. We want to know, what do you want to see? And also, please, we're here to share the message of natural medicine, so share the show and also visit our partners. Now, our partners are the lovely people at the Power Clinic. If you're looking for a consultation, perhaps you've got a bit of a stricter budget, you need to go and see their practitioners in training, because they will help you out. Details there on the screen. And if you want to do something, perhaps you want to look into HemoView, which looks at your blood cells and what's going on with your health, check out the team at My Remedy as well, because they've got naturopaths, homeopaths, hypnotherapists, the full gamut of natural wellness on board. And also a very big thank you to South Pacific College of Natural Medicine. We couldn't make this show without them. We love you guys. Thanks for doing great work in the field of natural medicine. But really, it is time for us to say goodbye. I'm just bringing over Amy onto the couch. And remember, here she comes. Haere mai. Welcome to the couch. It is time for us to say goodbye. Thank you very much, Stephanie. Your knowledge and expertise is truly amazing. Thank you very much, Amy Lynn, because we love having you here and talking about yummy recipes that can make you feel good. I have to say, Lynette, thank you for coming up with the concept of this show, because it's so good to see so many amazing practitioners and for you to bring together the best of natural medicine to the world, and for being not just an advocate but a cheerleader for natural medicine and for wellness. We love that. And I'm Monique Bradley for YourFixTV. Thank you so much for joining us. We love having you here with us. And remember, share this, and we'll see you again next week, 7 p.m. Monday, New Zealand time. Thank you, everybody. Thanks, everybody on the couch.
Thanks.
And thanks to Pete behind the camera for producing the show. See you next time.